Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice to see you again. And today we will talk about Yevgenyia, the protopsaltis of Putna, and we'll take a closer look at his cherubic song of the plagal of the first mode, written down in Ukrainian and Belarusian manuscripts in the Kiev square notation. Now I will share my screen and my presentation. Is it visible?
Yeah.
So I guess we can start. Yevgenyia, the protopsaltis of Putna, was the most famous composer, singer, and scribe of the 16th century Putna music school. The Putna music school is represented by 13 bilingual Greek Slavonic musical manuscripts written in Middle Byzantine notation. The proportion of Greek and respectively Church Slavonic of the Mid-Bulgarian reduction in each manuscript is different, but Greek prevails. Today, these manuscripts are kept in the archives of different countries: Romania, Russia, Greece, Bulgaria, Ukraine, the Czech Republic, and Germany. Two of these manuscripts that you can see at our screen, dated 1511 and 1515, are autographed by Yevgenyia, the protopsaltis of Putna. There is also information about a third autograph of the composer, which hasn't been found yet. The most studied Moldavian manuscripts is Yevgenyia's anthology of 1511. Its facsimile edition was published in 1983 in Bucharest and just in 2024 in Putna Monastery. Yevgenyia's autograph of 1511 attracted the attention of scholars more than 100 years ago. At first, the scientific interest was not caused by the musical content of the manuscript, but by its cryptograms. The manuscript contained 87 cryptograms written in 6 types of ciphers: 2 Cyrillic, Tarabaric and Greek key, 3 glagolitic proper, and 2 pseudo-glagolitic, and 1 numerical. Yevgenyia's cryptograms do not contain any secret information, but they clearly testify to his erudition, extravagance, and ingenuity. In the autograph of 1511, Yevgenyia calls himself a demesnik and protopsalt. In other Moldavian manuscripts, the most typical annotation near his work is of the monk Yevgenyia. Starting from the second half of the 20th century, Yevgenyia's autographs and other manuscripts of the Putna Music School have been actively studied by linguists and musicologists from Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia, England, and Canada, such as Radu Pava, Gheorghe Ciobanu, Marin Ionescu, Grigore Panțăru, Titus Moisescu, Gabriela Cneanu, Nicolae Gheorghiță, Maria Alexandru, Archdeacon Avram Bogun, Raina Polikarova-Verdei, Stoyan Petrov, Hristo Kodov, Elena Toncheva, Svetlana Kuyundzhieva, Dimitri Stefanovich, Anne Pennington, Dimitri Konomos, Gregory Myers, and others. In our opinion, there are features that distinguish Yevgenyia from other musicians of the 16th century Putna Music School. The most important distinguishing features are the following. First, Yevgenyia was the most prolific Moldavian composer of the 16th century. Today, he is credited with 186 works. This creativity is unique in medieval Moldavia. The oeuvre of other Moldavian composers of that time is represented by only a few works. Analyzing the works of Eustatia, Dimitri Konomos identified the individual features of his composing style, quotation. The delightful and expressive individual touches that we have encountered allow us to acknowledge his highly imaginative and sophisticated musical mind. The end of quotation. Second, Eustatia was proficient in Church Slavonic language of the Mid-Bulgarian reduction. The main body of the Slavic language repertoire of the Putna Music School has been preserved in his autographs, as well as in the anthology Putna 56, Part 1. Other Moldavian manuscripts contain only a few Slavic language chants. Elena Toncheva underlined Evstatia's main role in the creation of the Balkan Slavic language repertoire. Quotation. In the brilliant epoch of the Moldavian Prince Stefan the Great, the Bulgarian language, as it was laid down in Euphemius's reduction, was used as the liturgical language together with Greek. The melodies translated from Greek and the new ones created in the Putna school were written in Bulgarian. Credit is due to the famous Putna composer, the protopsaltist Evstatia, for compiling the Slavonic repertoire. The end of quotation. The number of Greek language and Slavic language works is well balanced in Evstatia's oeuvre. There are slightly more Greek language works. Third, Evstatia knew well the Slavonic church chant tradition. In the encrypted annotations of his autograph of 1511, he duplicates the Greek indications of modes with Cyrillic ones according to the Slavic system. According to the Slavic system, the modes, called glasi, are designated sequentially from the first to the eighth. In the Greek Byzantine tradition, four main authentic modes, called ichi, are numbered, and the plagal ones are correlated with their main ones, the plagal of the first, second, third, and fourth modes. We have recently found out that protopsaltis Evstatia of Putna's Greek language cherubic song of the plagal of the first mode, Ita Cheruvim, you can see it on the screen on the left side, was reproduced in the Ukrainian and Belarusian musical manuscripts as an anonymous work. You can see this records of Evstatia work, and you see that there is no name. We have only indication of the mode, glas drugi. That means the mode, the second mode. And you can see that here we have pliers of the plagal of the first mode. So there is a difference in mode indication. This piece was included in the cycle of the so-called Greek cherubic songs. Chants with the annotations Greek or in Greek appeared in the Ukrainian and Belarusian church musical manuscripts called Irmoloya in the 16th and 17th century and remained in the liturgical repertoire until the end of the 18th century. The Ukrainian and Belarusian Irmoloyon is a chant collection similar to the Byzantine anthology. So it's not Irmoloyon as we have it in Byzantine tradition. Not only the annotations, but also the Greek verbal text transcribed in Cyrillic indicate the eastern origin of these chants. In Ukrainian and Belarusian manuscripts, Greek chants were written not in the Byzantine notation, but in the Kiev square one notation. We see this Greek language cherubic song written in Kiev square notation. So it's the second piece of the Greek, so-called Greek cherubic songs. About 100 Ukrainian and Belarusian Irmoloya contain additional Greek chants. Most of these manuscripts have only one, two, or sometimes three Greek compositions. Trisarchion, cherubic hymn, and AFCN are the most common. However, there are few Irmoloya with a dozen or more Greek chants. There are the manuscripts from monasteries: Supras, Kuteino, Kyiv, Межигір'я, Univ, Lavra, and Manila. As a result of our comparative study of Ukrainian, Belarusian, and Greek Byzantine manuscripts, we have attributed a significant number of Greek chants, in particular the colophonic works of Byzantine composers of the 15th, 14th, and 15th centuries, such as Ioannis Vlikis, Monica Longinus, Ioannis Kladas, Manuel Chrysafis, Joachim Harsianitis, Manuel Hazis, and Anthimos Lavriotis, as well as the work of Eustache, the Protopsaltis of Putna. The attribution of Greek chants from Ukrainian and Belarusian staff-notated manuscripts proved their Eastern origin and the fact of borrowing. The question that arises is how Ukrainian and Belarusian singers managed to master Greek Byzantine chants. It's logical to assume that the Greek repertoire appeared thanks to Ukrainian and Moldavian contacts, since the Moldavian chant tradition is based on the Byzantine one. The works of Greek Byzantine composers make up most of the repertoire of the 16th century Moldavian manuscripts. Indeed, our comparative study of Moldavian and Ukrainian and Belarusian manuscripts showed that the 16th century Moldavian manuscripts of Putna Music School contain all attributed Greek chants from Ukrainian and Belarusian Irmoloya. In the process of working with the Greek repertoire, we found out that Protopsaltis Eustache of Putna's Greek language cherubic song of the plagal of the first mode was included in the cycle of the Greek colophonic cherubic songs, along with the works of Byzantine composers Ioannis Vlikis, Manuel Chrysafis, and Anthimos Lavriotis. Musical idioms of the Byzantine colophonic chant were Eustache's native composing language. This is confirmed by Maria Alexandrou's analysis of the colophonic formulas used by Eustache in his works, including in the cherubic song to which the present paper is devoted. To date, Eustache's cherubic song of the plagal of the first mode, Ita Cheruvim, has been attributed in Supras, Kuteino, Lavriv, and Sri Manava Irmoloya. You can see here these sources. This cherubic was written down in many manuscripts of Putna Music School, because so we can say that this cherubic was popular in the 16th century. And to date, we have found in this Ukrainian and Belarusian, because Kuteino Irmoloya is from Belarusian land, we attributed this cherubic. So we can also say that it was quite popular, because this cherubic of Eustache was presented in the circle of Greek cherubic songs in different parts of Ukrainian and Belarusian lands. The Suprast Irmoloyan of 1596 1601, one of the oldest staff-notated manuscripts, contains the Greek Kinonika and cherubic songs, with Yevstatiev's work among the others. This manuscript belongs to the common Ukrainian and Belarusian school of book writing. Anatoly Konotop noted that Greek chants were inscribed in this manuscript later by different handwritings. A codicological study of Lyubov Dubrovina confirmed these observations. In her opinion, Greek language chants were written in the first half of the 17th century by 5 different handwritings. This suprastermoloion, shortly after its creation, was transported to the Kiev-Pechersk Lavra, as evidenced by a note dated to the first half of the 17th century near caves of St. Anthony, ближняя пещера преподобного Антония. Therefore, it isn't known who wrote the Greek chants, including Yevstatiev's cherubic song, in the Suprast Irmoloion and where, in Supras, in Kiev, or elsewhere. It should be noted that the latest Suprast Irmoloion of 1638 doesn't include any Greek language chants. The Belarusian Kuteyno Irmoloion of the 1620s, 1630s contains about 30 Greek chants, cherubic songs, with Yevstatiev's work among the others, Kinonika, Trisage, Christmas Condacion, antiphons of the liturgy, etc. The Kuteyno monastery was built in 1623, 1635 at the expense of the Orthodox nobleman Bogdan Stetkevich. The foundation of this monastery as a Stavropagial one was blessed by Patriarch of Jerusalem, Theophanes, in 1620 at the request of the Mogilev Orthodox Brotherhood. It's important to our study to know that the Patriarch was accompanied on his journey by Jerusalem singers, and that his proto-syncellus, Gabriel, was the senior of the singers. Lavriv Irmoloion of 1677 was written by Hierodikon Joseph Kreinitsky of the Lavriv Monastery. Now, on the slide, we can see Lavriv Monastery. This manuscript contains more than a dozen Greek chants, cherubic songs with Yevstatiev's work among the others, Kinonika, Trisage, Axionestin, small and large, etc. On the title page of the manuscript, Joseph Kreinitsky noted that this is the Irmoloion of Bulgarian chant, which contains various melodies in Greek and Ruthenian. The 1684 manuscript of the Manyava Great Skit is also mentioned on the title page as the Irmoloion of Bulgarian chant, Irmoloi na Pilu Bulgarskого. The comment from Joseph Kreinitsky's 1673 Irmoloion confirms his connection with the Great Skit. Near the Greek Axionestin, there is the inscription, Chant of the Skit. 3 Irmoloia of Manyava contain the richest collection of Greek chants with Yevstatiev's work among the others. The manuscript of 1675-1676 contains about 30 chants, and the Irmoloia of 1684 and 1731 about 20 each. Yevstatiev's heroic song of the Plagal of the first mode was rendered in Middle Byzantine notation in the manuscripts of the Putna Music School and 5-line Kiev notation in Ukrainian and Belarusian Irmoloia. A comparative study showed that the Middle Byzantine notation was decoded by the 5-line Kievan. The exegesis, the performance realization of this work of Yevstatia was written in Ukrainian and Belarusian manuscripts. Therefore, we have valuable historical evidence of how this work sounded. Now, on the slide, you can see this collation of sources, but I don't know. Unfortunately, we can't see it clearly. But I want to explain what I did with this. This line, you see the line from Yevstatia autograph of 1511. His recording of this hieroglyph. Here you see only its transnotation of Byzantine line. And now these 5 sources, Ukrainian and Belarusian, Kutena Yermoloyan, Supras Yermoloyan, and 2 Manyava Yermoloya. Not 2 because it's 1 Manyava Yermoloyan, but in this Yermoloyan it was recorded twice in the second mode, and in the third mode. And with different exegesis. It has different variants. And the last line, you can see how it was written down in Yermoloyan of Lavriv Monastery. You have seen all these nice monasteries on our slides. But really, it's not clearly to see. I don't know why. Maybe when now we will start to work practically, maybe we will have a look on these original pages. Now we will see. In all Ukrainian and Belarusian manuscripts, the mode of Yevstatia's cherubic song was changed. We see the second and third instead of the plagal of the first mode. In 3 Manyava manuscripts, Yevstatia's cherubic song was written twice in the second and third modes. Elena Toncheva offered a comparative analysis of the key exegesis of Yevstatia's cherubic song in the second and third modes as anonymous works because she didn't know who was the author, and that arose from the same source. The fact of changing the mode of Yevstatia's cherubic song was not a surprise to us, because most of the Greek chants were recorded in Ukrainian and Belarusian manuscripts in different modes than the original ones. Therefore, the Byzantine modes were reinterpreted by Ukrainian and Belarusian singers. This is a special feature on our mind on the Ukrainian and Belarusian reception and adaptation of Byzantine chant. In the 1970s, Anne Pennington wrote, quotation, Yevstatia, monk of Putna, at the end of the 15th and beginning of the 16th century, must have been one of the most remarkable figures in the cultural life of Moldavia of this time. A very competent scribe with a taste for decorative effects, the inventor of 2 ciphers, and an ingenious user of others, a choir master and solo singer, and the composer of a large number of settings for chant in both Greek and Slavonic, which were evidently sung in Putna at least to the mid-16th century. The end of quotation. As our research has shown, Yevstatia's works were sung for a much longer time. In particular, in the Ukrainian and Belarusian monasteries, they were performed until the mid-18th century. Moreover, thanks to Ukrainian and Belarusian manuscripts, we know quite precisely how the works of Yevstatia were sung, as well as the other colophonic settings of the Byzantine composers. So now what I suggest to have a look maybe on this collation of sources to understand how we can sing and how will be sound of this key exegesis of Yevstatia work. So we can see the first enigma. Yevstatia wrote this enigma ane s. And in Ukrainian and Moldavian sources, we see only anes, ne anes. So how we can explain this? How can we explain? If you look closer, you can understand that in our sources we have only second part of this long enigma. From this, ne s, because we have and in our sources from ne exactly the same. Ne, and the cadence. So maybe someone want to try to read this Yevstatia's cherubic song. As we can see on this slide, I collected three sources. On the very left, we see the page of autograph by Yevstatia. This is our enigma and the beginning of this cherubic song. In the middle of the slide, we can see піснь Херувимська, глас другий. So it's the song, cherubic song of the second mode. And now we know that this is a cherubic song of Yevstatia. And from the same manuscript, this is a manuscript of Manava Great Skit from the year 1675. The same cherubic song was written down as песнь Херувимская, глас the third mode. But we can see that it's the same, because here we see Can you hear me, or it's not good? And here we see the same, but exegesis of this of the last note.
Sorry a little bit, Evgenia. When you are talking, I can hear you very clear, but when you sing, it's very low, the volume. I guess it's the soft, the Zoom soft, who is not very favorable to singing.
I know this problem of Zoom. I know it. But maybe we can start to do something together. I mean, to read this cherubic song from our manuscripts to understand how it works.
Yeah.
Because now I just showed you
Mhm.
that if we start from this ne, we have this enigma, but only the second part of this enigma of Yevstatia.
Mhm.
It's clearly.
Yeah.
And now, what can we see? So, what I suggest just to ignore the indication of the second and third modes, because compared to Yevstatia variant, we can't find the same maybe sound. So what I suggest to have in our mind the sound of the plagal of the first mode, because now we know that original one. Originally, Yevstatia wrote this cherubic in this mode. So, if you'd like, you can start to sing this only, I don't know, Ita maybe, and we will compare. Your microphone is closed.
Yeah. I think it's better not to sing it, but to say the pitches. Should we say it in with Latins? Re, sol, and so?
And so we have
Re, sol,
E.
fa, sol, fa, mi, re, sol.
Yes. So we have Ita. Exactly.
Mhm.
I can hear you. Thank you very much. Because without sound, it will be difficult to understand something.
Yeah, but that application it's complicated when singing. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
we will try, and
Yeah.
it's better to try than
To get the best.
yes.
Yeah.
So the first version, um, the first Kiev exegesis, they are quite close to each other, but we have different variants. We see, for instance, so we can decide that this is re. So we have re, sol, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa,
Mhm.
sol. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very.
So you can also try to sing it.
Pa, pam, pa, 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 pam,
Da, 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 da.
tam, ta, ta, pam, tam. No. Yeah.
So what we can see? We can see very clearly the rhythm, because we have re, the whole note, re, sol, the half note, fa, and quarters, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, sol.
Mhm.
And now we can return to the Middle Byzantine notation. We hear re, sol, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, sol. And now let's have a look to the third mode, the same Heroic. Please, if you want to read it, we have re.
Mi, fa, la, sol, I guess.
No, it's re, mi, fa,
Mi, fa.
sol.
It's not between the dots, the pitch.
No, we have
Re, mi, fa.
re, mi, fa. This is the whole note. So it's between these two dots.
Yeah.
So after if we have
Okay.
this.
I'm kind of guessing the pitches between it's not so big enough for me to see it clearly. But now I understood. Tam
Mhm.
tam tam tam. And afterwards I think da fa sol fa
Ta-da.
re mi fa sol
Exactly.
sol la. Mhm,
And then we have cherubim. Now we work only with eta.
mhm,
So, comparing these two variants, we can understand that this fourth, this jump,
mhm.
re, sol, we see it.
Explicitated. Re mi fa
Yes.
sol.
Now we have re, mi, fa, sol.
Mhm,
So, I guess that it was sung not as a jump, but it was fulfilled with
mhm,
these notes.
mhm,
So, according to our sources, we can sing this eta of Hepstatia, and it will be something like this. You can try to do the same. For instance, combine this movement. We have re, mi, fa, sol, la, ah. Can you hear me?
Very badly, very badly.
Mhm.
When you speak, I can hear you, but when you sing, just guessing.
Okay, so for another workshop, I will prepare a recording.
Yeah, or maybe you could just speak the name of the pitches. Re, sol, fa, mi, fa, or something like this.
Uh-huh. So we
Maybe.
have re, mi, fa, sol, fa, da, da, mi, da, 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 re, mi, fa, sol.
Mhm.
And let's have a look on cherubim. Here we see that it's sol, fa, mi, fa, re, mi, re, mi, re, re. Are you agree?
Yeah. Mhm.
So let's take it once more to remember it. So, fa, mi, fa, re, mi, and cadence. Mi, re, mi, re, re. What we have first in the second mode. Now we have sol, ke, e, ru, ru, vi, uh, did you hear or no?
Uh, I could follow you up to Ru.
So we have sol, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, re.
Mhm.
Sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re. Ru, ru started cadence. Mi,
Mhm.
re, mi, re, re on ru. So our ru, we also have here mi, re, mi, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, mi, fa, re. So it's much more extended.
Mhm.
What is also interesting that we have here the measures consist of 4 bits, one measure, another measure, another, and only when stated rule we have one measure which consists of 3 bits. So it's interesting. And now we can compare it with this variant of third mode. So what I suggest, if you'd like to read it from here with you.
I cannot see. Now I see your mouse.
It's sol.
Sol, la, fa, re. Sol, fa, mi, re. Fa. Sol, sol, fa, mi, re. Mi, fa. Re, mi, fa. Mi, re, do.
Mi, re, fa, mi, re.
Mi, re.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
So maybe you have question, because I can explain that from my experience, if we have a lot of sources, we can see that they are not exactly the same. The exegesis, the Kievan exegesis, is not exactly the same in different manuscripts. So how can we work? We can collect all these sources, and at some point we don't see exegesis in one manuscript, but we see exegesis in other manuscripts. So if we put all together, we can find very, very nice exegesis of this piece according to different Ukrainian and Belarusian sources. Now, of course, I'd like to hear your opinion, maybe questions.
Yeah, I think that things are complicated. We don't. I think at the moment we don't know if all that manuscripts come from the same source, or if they come from different sources and they were notated from something mixing the written and the oral tradition, and they could show, I don't know, maybe that the manuscript coming from the same monastery, that's from Maniava, could show some familiar patterns comparative to others of them. But anyway, I would like to compare how Byzantine formula appears in different ways in all the manuscripts and different parts of the cherubic. For example, the strepton or the thromicon, how it looks, or that cadence that you told us. Tam, 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 mire, mire, re. And to see the different variants to perform the same formula, because maybe they are interchangeable.
Yes, you're right. I did this work, but for workshop.
No. I'm just curious to take a look myself, and yeah. It's
Yes, you're right.
fascinating what you show us.
I just want to say that some formulas are very stable in all sources, and some formulas for instance, tromicon. This formula we can see different rhythmical patterns. So it's not so stable, and of course it depends on which pitch of the mode this formula situates, and from different. But you're right, it's very interesting. Maybe I am very happy to have you, because you are very deeply in different scientific issues. But now I can show this analysis of this formula just because it was not the aim of my workshop.
Yeah. I'm totally foreign to the Kievan notation. I assume that it's a staff notation, so I could count the pitch, but I don't know the duration. Now I guess that the 2 points means that it's 4 beats, and the eighth it's showing with flags. But the rhythmical value is very clear in Kiev notation.
Of course, it's very clear.
Yeah, okay.
Because we see this. I didn't explain it because I saw the previous masterclass of Madame Takala-Roschenko, and so she explained how it works, and I just maybe didn't want to repeat this information. But of course, we can repeat that this is the whole node. If we have 2 dots, the node is between these 2 dots, and duration it's a whole node. Now, if we have this black node with on the right we have this sign, so it's a half node. The quarter nodes look very similar to the nowadays notation, but only they have how to say it in English. We have it's on the right, not on the left.
Lines?
The lines, yes.
Yeah.
The lines we have on the right and not on the left as it's usual today. So we have here a half node because the line is not so long as in these quarter nodes. So we have here 4 bits. Re, 2, 3, 4. Sol, 2, 3, 4. Fa, just 2. 2 bits. 1, 1. Again 2 bits. And then we have this dot that we have the quarter and 8 and 8th. So it's absolutely the same as we have in round Italian notation. Exactly the same. Only you know that we have the measures.
Yeah.
So we have to find out these measures. But it's not difficult according to the verbal text. And it's really not difficult. And you can understand this structure. And I want to say that this cherubic song is almost all piece is written in 4/4 meter. But sometimes we have this very often in cadences, we have these measures that consist of 3 bits sometimes.
Mhm.
And sometimes in the beginning, we have, for instance, measure that consists of 3 bits.
Does it happen to have two measures of 3 bits, one after another?
Yes, sometimes,
Uh-huh.
but rarely.
Mhm.
But rarely. Usually we have in cadence, we have this shift for 3 and then return to for 2 bits.
Mhm.
And sometimes we have in the beginning. It's normal because to start we need much more time.
Mhm.
Sometimes in these phrases.
Mhm.
But we can see here a very regular structure. Okay, maybe another questions?
As we have spoken about Tromicon, you said that this formula appears in various variants, but and how long is the duration of the formula in general? 4 bits or 2 bits?
No, it can be written, for instance, this formula.
4 bits, one full measure.
Yes, sometimes we have four bits, so full measure. Sometimes we have prolonged the first note. Sometimes we have 2 bits here, and then here quarters.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have here 2 bits, and here 2 bits, and then. So this formula, Tromicon, it can be performed slower or faster, as I see. And for instance, we hear this formula. No, okay, I can show it maybe for another hour meeting. I will pick together all this formula in the slide, and we can look at this together if you'd like.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure to do it because I really prepared this analysis, but not for our today workshop.
You're the leader. You present what you think is useful for us, and maybe next time there will be more students to listen to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was very glad to see you, and another workshop will be devoted. We can continue with this piece of your study because you would like to see these formulas and how we can find this formula in Kiev square notations. So I will prepare something, and I suggest to continue with the Slavonic language work of Yevstati, because we know that Yelena Toncheva found out that troparia of the first mode, Bulgarian troparia, written in our manuscripts, are of Yevstati. So we can have a look at this piece also.
Yeah, I will be happy to start with a Napolitikion. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening, and see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you at our next meeting.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.